Today's guest is Cheyna Wood, former professional squash player, mother of 3, and founder of the activewear brand Cheyna Dot. Cheyna started representing South Africa in squash at just 12 years old and went on to play professionally at 22, eventually becoming the #1 ranked player in South Africa and reaching 60th in the world. After taking time off to start a family, she returned to captain South Africa at the 2022 World Team Championships in Egypt. All the while, she was building Cheyna Dot, creating custom, inclusive activewear for women in racket sports and beyond. This is a conversation about elite sport, motherhood, entrepreneurship, and the reality of trying to build something of your own while raising a family. Welcome to The Room She Built. Cheyna, hi, welcome.
Thank you.
To The Room She Built. We are very happy to have you here with us today. We're just wanting it to be a very relaxed conversation. I know that you are reluctant to be here, and we pretty much bullied you.
Nothing I'm not used to. With you
exactly.
Too. Yeah.
So thank you for just giving in and saying yes.
It's a pleasure, only because I love you guys.
I know, we're excited. We know a little bit of your story, but obviously we're really wanting to dig into it in this episode. I think there's a lot about you that we do know, but also a lot that we don't. So for all of our listeners,
all my fans,
all your fans, you own Cheyna Dot,
yes,
which is your athleisure wear, activewear brand.
Yes.
But you're also a professional squash player.
Yes, definitely ex. Yes.
Yeah. So we just really want to sort of delve into your journey, your story up until now, your lessons you've learned, the things you're still learning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lots still learning, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I feel like everything in my life has stemmed from squash, which is crazy. It's just hitting a ball against a wall. It seems for people who don't know squash, like, what did you do? Just hit it against the wall. Back to where? But yeah, that's where it started. My mom always played, so I grew up at the squash courts there all the time. 3-4 times a week. What else do you do but join in? And then I started playing for my province, and then made a national side under 14, and then I just continued and decided to play professionally after school, which was a whole journey in itself.
At what point did you realize that you were pretty good at it?
Were you always good at it?
Yeah, I think, like I said, because I had access to courts at an early age, the first interprovincial you can go on is under 11, and I went when I was 9. So
what grade is that? Is that grade? That must be grade 3.
Yes. And
okay.
You like get your tracksuit, and it's like drowning you, and it's just, and like I think those provincial tours is what sparks your love for the game, because you go on an aeroplane to another province, and with your squad of 5. Your parents aren't with you. It's like the best week of your life. Yeah. And then you wait the whole year for the next one. So, I think those memories, I still am friends with those people that I went on those tours with. And then obviously making the national team is super exciting, and you're proud. And that was kind of my focus. And then in high school, I decided to take it more seriously, maybe stop playing all the other sports in school as much. And I did study, but I didn't really focus on my studies that much. It was more, where can I play squash? And then I'll study as well on the sideline. But a big challenge was sponsorship, because if you play professionally, you obviously have to tour the world.
Yeah. And how... how do you even get to that point? So you're playing into provisional, and then you're winning those tournaments, and then like what happens from there? How do you even get into being a professional squash player?
So, you play all the provincial tournaments, and then every age group, there's normally one South African tour a year. So you start getting that international exposure. I think I started traveling, I think the first one is Namibia, so not too far. Under 16, you go to the UK. I went to Malaysia when I was in under 16. Then under 19, we played the British and the Scottish Open, under 19 Junior Open. And then you start like getting access to the international stage. And then basically, just like tennis and now paddle and all that, you have to join the professional circuit. So you just join it, you pay your membership fee, and then you start playing all the lower tournaments, building up your ranking, and then you have a world ranking, and then you obviously trying to get to as high as you can.
And so based on that sponsorship, I can't imagine, knowing the prize money in a lot of women's sport, I can't imagine squash pays very well when you're winning these tournaments. So how do you fund yourself?
Yeah, you have to get external sponsorships. I mean, obviously, if your parents can afford it, that's wonderful, but that wasn't the case for me. So I kind of landed my bum in butter, as they say. I did my high school at Danefin College, and I used to walk into the estate to practice every day. And there was a lady there that was learning to play, and she came in the court, and I was busy, and the other court was one of the coaches was busy on there, and she said to me, "Can we have a game?" So I said, "Yeah, sure, come on." And then I started hitting, and she was like, "Oh, no, you're far too good. Like, we can't play together." And I was like, "It's all good." So I started coaching her a bit, and we spent half an hour on the court, and she left. And later on, she ended up being in the same league side as my aunt, and we went to go watch. And my mom was saying how we're looking for sponsorships to get me overseas to play some tournaments. And she said, "Oh, I know your daughter. She helped me on the squash court. Send me her CV." And yeah, so she basically was my only sponsor for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, which allowed me to travel the world. I traveled at least 12 to 15 times a year overseas. I've been to Australia a million times, America,
We're not
Europe.
so bad down under, hey?
Yeah, no, I loved going there actually. I've been to all the places in Australia.
And did she
Yeah.
ever expect anything in return?
Nothing in return.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
But she's an amazing woman. Her name's Titsi Masiiwe, and she's a philanthropist. And
Wow.
I mean, she looks after, I would say, hundreds and thousands of orphans in Zimbabwe. And like, yeah, she does so much
incredible.
work. So,
Wow.
yeah, to have met her and gone on a squash court with her, so like by chance, was just amazing. So there's a lot of up and coming South African squash players, because it's not cricket, rugby. There's no funding, so they're really good players. And then as soon as they get to varsity, there's just no opportunity. You can't travel if you don't have sponsorship. We don't really get funding from Squash South Africa. So unless you can find the money, it's not really a career choice for
Is
people.
it a dying sport or no? A lot of people still loving the sport, but there's no.
Yeah.
It's difficult to become a professional and build a.
And now with paddle.
Yeah, so paddle's made it really challenging.
And pickleball.
Yeah, and pickleball. A lot of new sports, and the barrier to entry, like it's a lot easier to start. Anyone can get on court with and hit a paddle ball. With squash, it takes a lot of skill, and that ball's cold. You've got to warm it up. So even with my girls, I still take them to the courts, but we play with a bigger ball just to get them, having longer rallies and enjoying it. There's no one's going to enjoy trying to hit a ball that doesn't bounce, and it's difficult, But I think in terms of, being professional, like I just went to go watch the Paddle Premier 1 in Pretoria last week. It's our first professional tournament that's like, I think it's like one down from a slam, what's it called? Grand Slam. So, and so there's the top players in the world. So like as a youngster here in South Africa, if they see that and they go in to watch, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
The prize money was huge.
The prize
Wasn't
money
it 10
is
million
huge.
or something?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for an international person, that's probably not a lot.
Yeah.
But for a South African to have access to that in a very accessible sport, I think it's incredible.
Yeah. So I think things like that are not going to help squash. But internationally, it's doing really well. It's now in the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah. 2028 for the first time. So,
which is crazy if you think that it's actually quite an old sport.
Yeah, I like playing it and professionally, and thinking you're not going to get the chance to go to the Olympics was quite depressing, because I think it's been voted one of the toughest sports in terms of all-round fitness. The high intensity, you need endurance, you need agility, you need strength, you need coordination. Like half an hour of squash and you are dead.
And your reaction time.
Yeah.
Like that ball comes back very quickly.
In any direction.
In any direction. And so would you have been good enough to be on the South African Olympic team if it was, let's say, 16 years prior?
Yeah, I would have. So I think like the Commonwealth Games was the closest we got to.
Yeah.
Well, to the Olympics, that type of experience. And I was in the national team going, and for some reason, SASCOC pulled us out. Squash. So like each country gets so many slots, so many individual sports slots, so many team slots, and SASCOC then decides which sports. And we were entered so much so that my name was in the draw. As an athlete, like if you went to Google who participated in the Commonwealth Games, my name is there. And then, so it obviously got withdrawn last second.
Minute. How do you overcome that? Like mentally, that must have been devastating.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. No.
And at that point, were you like, "F this, I'm done," or did you keep pushing?
No, I think you just keep pushing. I think you kind of know your main priority as a professional is your own career, and it's obviously to play for your country and go and experience those things is almost like a bonus, because those are really the moments that you remember, and like traveling with your team and wearing your South African, because when you're going to play a tournament in Pakistan, you're not wearing your national kit, and you are representing your country, but it's a lonely sport. Like those 5 years, everyone's like, you're so lucky, you get to travel the world, but I mean, you're on a very tight budget. You are traveling alone, you're spending hours on planes and trains. And I mean, I have this memory that haunts me, that this tournament in Pakistan, I didn't want to go alone. So I got the funds to take my coach with me. We spent like 12 hours in Dubai airport. I got there, I played my match. I lost in 20 minutes. I played terribly. And we came home. And it's like horrible stuff like that, you know, that you have to just go through, and that you learn to put yourself out there. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're investing money, time, taking a risk, traveling across the world. And it's a tournament. If you lose first round, you're out. Yeah. Go back home. And I think that's why the best thing to do if you want to be a pro in squash, and I'm sure a lot of other sports, is to base yourself overseas, just purely because you're more central. You know, to travel from South Africa, half the time I was always jet lagged, because it's always a minimum 10-hour flight wherever you go. So I think that was almost a mistake on my end, is that you've got to take that leap and just base yourself overseas, so that you know, traveling around Europe's easy, and traveling from Europe to other countries is a lot easier. And you've got access
to more events, because even you know, if we fast forward to where you are today as a high rocks athlete,
a professional amateur high rocks athlete,
you know, but to your point is, you know, I remember you made world champs, and it was in Chicago, and I think probably based on your experience of so much of what you've done with the likes of Pakistan, probably tattooed on your brain in terms of memory, that you were like, I'm not going to spend all this money and all this time getting across to Chicago to go and participate at world champs, which is a great experience, but like, if I'm not going to potentially podium or top 10, is it worth it? But so many athletes who are in Europe are able to go to all the different high rocks events, so they're able to get that experience. But here in South Africa, you have 2, maybe 4 events a year. So it's really difficult to get that exposure.
I think if you really want to be on an international level, you've got to be where everyone is, not here.
Which is sad, because I think we've got so much potential, but as usual, it always comes down to funding and access and the distance.
Exactly.
Did you ever you know your mum probably carried a big burden in terms of wanting to give you everything, and obviously being a single mum, it's not so easy. Were there any points in time where you felt that she was carrying a lot of that load, potentially financially and also from a time perspective, and her daughter's going away at whatever age it was to Pakistan, out of all places. Did you feel that, or was she really, really supportive and just kind of pushed you
No,
through?
she was always supportive, yeah. And what I really admired about her was that she would humble herself to make sure that I have the opportunity. So, to ask for help and just constantly promote me, because you've got to do that. And I think that's why I tend to shy away, because she did that, and I'm like, oh no, don't do that. Like, I don't want, I don't want to ask, I don't want to tell people, I don't want to. But now that I'm older, I look back and I'm like, I hated it at the time, but now I really appreciate it, because you have to do that to get somewhere in life. People need to know about you. People need to know that you need help. If you don't ask, and that's what she always said to me. She's like, Cheyna, if you don't ask, it's a hard no, but you may as well try.
Yes.
And that's what she did for me, because I would never have done that. And she always would she would always say, like, this is the potential. And I'd be like, oh no, but that's why I had those opportunities, and even with Titsy, she followed through and made sure that I did my part and sent reports and made sure that Titsy knew what I was doing. And, she taught me those things. And now that I'm older, I'm very grateful for that, because, my schooling, she applied for bursaries for me to go to good schools and university. And I was at Tux, and I wasn't happy there with a few things. And she was like, well, this is now, I think I was end of second year at Tux doing sports science. And she was like, well, just move to UJ. And I was like, it's December, like bursary stuff is gone. She emailed the guy. Within a week, I had a full bursary to move to UJ, and I moved. Like in that January, I'd moved.
That's the power of that sort of maternal instinct, right?
Yeah.
Like that bear-like ferocity where you will do and fight for your children through anything.
Yeah.
Do you have that, Cheyna?
I hope so.
You have 3 daughters.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have a lot of fighting to do. I think it's that fine line of being in those shoes where I'm like, I felt like, oh no, I don't want this, but knowing that it's still good for them, based on how I was dancing on the side of the hockey field yesterday, I think, I think I might fight for them.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get feedback from your kids too.
Yeah.
So, even if it's verbal or not, the way you played on that squash court, your mum knew that you were good enough, and your mum knew that you wanted this, and you were waking up and constantly thinking squash, playing squash, wanting to do squash.
Yeah.
So for her, that's motivating. I would probably push that. But if your child every morning is waking up and saying, Mum, I hate squash and I hate this and I hate that, then you're not going to push that.
Yeah. And I did gymnastics to start, and I was on, eventually they like started a Olympic training program. I mean, gymnastics, you start so young.
Early, yeah.
And my career was from 4 to 10. I look at my little girls now, I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like they're
so
barely
little.
doing any sport yet, And I woke up one day, I said, why did I stop? She said, no, you woke up one day and you said, I don't want to do it anymore. And then that was that, so you just have to let your child guide you. And I think after varsity, there was a time where I'm like, why am I doing this? Do I really want it? And then you've got to figure it out for yourself as an adult.
Yeah.
And now that I look back, I'm like, it's not just about where you got to, what your world ranking was. It's all the stuff that came with it. Like, I'm so happy I went through it, and I put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
If I look back, like during my career, I always felt like I'm not really good enough. Like, is it worth it? I only achieved this. But it's not, now that I look back, I'm like, it's not really about that. It's all the stuff I learned along the way, the community, the friends, the opportunity, and like you say now, taking those things you've learned and using them in the other areas of my life.
Yeah, because
business and high rocks and all these other things that I'm trying to do now. So
because you can still be competitive. You don't need to. I think when you're a competitive athlete when you're younger, you never lose that. but it doesn't have to just be on a squash court or on a rugby field or wherever that might be. You're able to bring it in, and you've been able to do that with Cheyna Dot.
Yeah.
So how did that all begin?
So,
and what is Cheyna Dot for those who don't know?
So Cheyna Dot is an activewear brand.
Mm-hmm.
And it started off in the court space. So I say court because obviously squash, tennis, hockey, netball, it's all the same sort of clothing. And we would make these tours, the provincial tours and the South African tours, and be put in the most uncomfortable kit. Now, Squash South Africa is spending hundreds of thousands sending us overseas to play a tournament, and you got a wedgie most of the time. It's like, it can't happen. This is not going to work. So, like I said, I studied sports science and then sports psychology, but I ended up in fashion because there was a need. So while I was playing and traveling, I started trying to find some CMTs, which is cut, make, trim, for those who don't know. I think I started in Cape Town initially, and just like got a pattern made for a skort, and then started making skorts. And that was the main thing, because that's the most important thing. Tops are obviously easy to find. And then so my first customers were all the squash players, and it was easy because I played and everyone knew me, so they trusted that it was going to be comfortable. So I started doing all the provincial teams, squash teams, tried a bit of tennis but didn't quite get in there, and so it was very small because obviously there's not many squash players in the country, and then during COVID I was like, okay, now what? All the sports clubs are closed. What are we going to do? How are we going to sell? So then I found a good leggings fabric and started developing the leggings, and then started an online store and did a little meta course. Thought, how am I going to advertise this? And then just built slowly from there. So it's literally been the last 5-6 years that I've really focused, and the online store has become my business and my focus. I still do a lot of other stuff like through community now, F45, squash. I still do all the provincial teams and the national team, and but that's just business that has come from being in the different communities, not from me going out there and marketing the brand. It's the relationships, So
and
it's that combination of the two.
What distinguishes your brand from other athleisure wear?
Well, I think with it being quite small, basically I run the whole business on my own. It's that personal, most of it, my stuff is through relationships, and then online I've sort of carried through that theme because it's all customized apparel. So you go on and you choose your legging length, your pockets, your waistband, and it goes from extra small to 5XL. So I think, people say, what's your most common size? And it's actually from extra large up, because a lot of women, how does a 5XL lady find a pair of tights that fits her and is in stock? So I think that's what differentiates me is, or Cheyna Dot, is that, is the inclusivity and the fact that you kind of feel in charge of your own purchase. And I think for me, it was, I kind of stumbled upon there because I thought, how am I supposed to choose what you're going to like in a long pair of leggings and you're going to like in a short pair of leggings? Like, we're all so different. We all have these ideas about our own bodies. Like, oh, I can't wear shorts. I can't wear this length. This makes me look like this. So I think it's quite, it's made my life easier in that sense, is that I don't have to make a decision. You guys can choose for yourselves what you want to wear.
Although now you've got how many orders that this one wants this, and this one wants this, and this one wants this logo on the back. And that's me.
Get to a point now where I'm like, how am I supposed to scale this? Because
exactly,
that is a problem, right?
Well, I think online, not really, because it's all the same process. So the order comes in, the designer, luckily I'm not the designer in terms of processing the orders, and she just size, length, and goes to print, it arrives at the factory, and we make it up. So and I think with Cheyna Dot, a lot of it was just throwing myself in the deep end and hoping that I can swim. Like, I don't know how to sew a button onto a garment, or I know nothing about it. So it was easy at first. And then 2 years ago, I opened up my own factory at home upstairs.
Amazing.
So 5 people arrived, and I was like, "Can you make this?" And they couldn't. And then
And you're like, well, neither can I.
yeah, and like I've kept it. The first skirt I made in my own factory, the waistband's like this. I'm like this, yeah, and I've just kept it. I think I'm going to frame it one day. But yeah, then we kind of figured it out together, and yeah, now I'm at a point where I have to try get out of survival mode and just throwing myself in the deep end and look at the bigger picture. Like, where do I want to be in 5 years' time?
And looking back on how far you've come, right? Like, I know even speaking to you 2 years ago, like, I think your processes and your own sort of clarity seems, more on track.
More on track, yeah.
But in terms of running a business like this in South Africa, I've heard that there are so many challenges in that we don't have our own fabric mills anymore. Everything has to be imported. A lot of our CMTs have closed down. Like, what are some of the challenges that you've faced in the processes?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges is that, all of us active people are wearing New Balance, Puma, Nike, Under Armour. And so your clients are comparing you to that. So they want that standard, but they want to support local. And it's difficult to compete with a brand that's manufacturing everything overseas at
for cheap.
Thousands of quantities. Their markups are ridiculous. Whereas I still every day get people commenting on my ad saying, the prices are absolutely ridiculous. I got one yesterday saying these garments should be hand delivered at this price.
And
I'm like, what are you comparing that to? Because
also you're very competitively priced if you're looking at every other South African leisure wear brand.
Yeah, and international, like Puma and Nike, the prices are double.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a lot of our local brands are actually imported because they can't make things locally, which is sad. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas you're making everything literally so locally it's in your own house.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be
as
more
local as I can get.
And that's I wonder if it's just a misinformed shopper almost, because maybe that person hasn't tried to buy something recently, because I don't know, a pair of Puma leggings these days are around 1,500 rand.
Yeah, I was looking yesterday at the Puma website, and like the high rock stuff now, like the little shorts are, and then you've got to have the perfect body to wear that. You can't customize it and say, actually, I need them 5 centimeters longer.
And it's even better that I know you, and I'm like, Cheyna, I have an issue about this, but can you just tweak it for my body specifically?
Yeah, exactly.
She wants us to edit that out.
Yeah.
Don't message her asking to do that.
I'm not friends with any of you.
And tell us, so you obviously have 3 beautiful kids, and you've got a husband who's very supportive, but he travels a lot. So how do you juggle it all?
We love you, Mike.
Yeah, we love you, Mike. I think so I've got 3 kids. So the first, you try to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And you're in survival mode, and then you slowly come out of survival mode, and you realize that you don't have to do everything yourself. So
can I please tell the story you were telling me a few weeks ago?
Oh no, which one? I'm nervous now.
I have been giggling about it for so long.
With Ryan?
With Ryan. Okay. So Cheyna comes to High Rocks training on Sunday morning, and we know it's really early.
At F45.
At F45, Bryanston.
Bryanston.
And then she's having coffee with us afterwards, and she's like, I hope the kids are okay. When Ryan woke up, I kind of like breadcrumbed a trail for her to follow with like toys and snacks, and then I put a bottle in front of the TV, and I figured she can feed herself. She's 2 now.
Oh, when I left, they were still sleeping, and I was like, do I wake them up? Because I forgot to tell them I'm going to gym.
Okay.
But they know I go to gym every Sunday.
Yes.
I mean, there are only 2, 5, and 7. So I don't think they even know what they don't know the days of the week yet. But they know I go to gym every day. Yeah. So I woke up, and we had a late night, so they were sleeping, and I was like, I could wake them up and tell them, or I could just let them sleep. yeah, so I just let them sleep and just left the bottle there with her favorite program on. And I was like, when she wakes up, she's going to see that and she's going to be fine.
And she was.
And she was fine.
But you also have a village, right?
Yeah, so we have
And
a village. We have Angie and Joyful and their kids, and like it's been the biggest blessing because we are like a community, another little community, and the kids grow up together, and I scratch your back, you scratch my back, and we help each other, and we basically all live in my house pretty much all the time, and
with your entire factory upstairs.
yeah, no, I mean it's a joke sometimes with traffic. But yeah, I love it. I've never been a person like my mom has also instilled that in me. Like, our doors are always open, and that I'm not that type of person that needs my own space. I'm like, so it works for us, and the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages for now. And the kids, I love the fact that my kids grow up like that. Just people around. There's so much love and other kids, and our tenant has 2 kids, so it's really like
And
there's always someone to play with.
And it's so important for the kids to see, if I think back to my memories of my mum and dad, my mum had a home-based childcare, so we used to have 5 little kids in our house all the time. And I remember sometimes I'd go up to my room and I'd be so upset because there was a baby that was sleeping in there, and then did a poo while I was sleeping, and my room stank, and I'm like, what is going on? And then my dad like worked all the time. I just remember him always working and always on the laptop, and he was a solopreneur, so was always bearing that stress. But as a kid, I'd always noticed that. And I think some of my work ethic has definitely come from that. And so your kids are seeing that you're being a role model without even attempting to be, because they see that that's the norm. It's just like mum works, mum goes to gym. Yeah. Mum's kind of got it all together sometimes.
I don't know about that. But I also think like life isn't easy. Life is hard. So if you make it easy for them, you're just setting them up for failure.
Exactly.
Like they've got to know that the moment you can brush your teeth on your own, you do it.
Yes.
And the moment you can do this on your own, you do it. And like they trust.
That bottle at 7 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I take it to the extreme sometimes, but like they're independent and they trust that I go and come back, and that they be fine on their own, and that they can figure things out for themselves, and so it's kind of works for us, and I think works for me, and hopefully one day I don't have too many therapy bills from them.
We can only hope.
We can only hope.
I think it's guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. Nowadays,
no matter what kind of job you're doing.
They're going to hate me for some reason, so it may as well be because I went to gym too much or something like that.
But your little ones are so cute when they do come to the gym, and they want to play. Yeah. And that's what we want exercise to be to these kids. I think so many people in today's day and age have this stigma against being in a gym, or they feel like, for example, that they need to get fit before they can get into an F45 session or something like that. And it's just like, just come through, because your kids are going to thank you. You're going to thank you. You got to find that 45 minutes for yourself so that you can then do the work that you need to do on the other side. Because I can assume with Cheyna Dot, there's a lot of stress as well, building that brand, especially because it is just you for the most part, and you're managing such a big portion.
Yeah.
And you're responsible for paying salaries. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. That was a big jump for me. Because before I outsourced the manufacturing. So it was, if orders came in, that's cool. And if they didn't, then I didn't have those fixed costs. So I didn't make money, but I didn't have all those bills to pay. So, but I think it's been to have that control. It's been amazing, like working with other people, and they are prioritizing what they need to, whereas now I have control of that. If I need to fit an order in, I can. If I need to get something done, I can. So I'm really enjoying that part of the business.
So obviously you, growing up in such a competitive sport environment, you learned a lot of lessons around discipline and focus and How do you feel that that is translated into the rest of your life and business and your amateur high rocks career?
Yeah, I always thought like I always labeled myself when I played professionally like I'm not mentally tough enough or competitive enough. Like I didn't have that like fire in my belly. And that's always what I, maybe heard a bit and told myself. And it's like, and I did these sports psychology sessions, and they did like a personality test and what you best suit. Mine was like empath, compassionate, like all the opposite things that a professional, like not important. Like you need discipline and confidence, and I just didn't tick any of those boxes. I was like, okay, well, obviously in the wrong career, but I'll just keep going. And then only once I've come out of that and now doing exercise for fun, with no sort of goal in mind, have I realized, geez, I actually am really competitive. And like now I see, like I've embraced it and I've realized what a gift it is. Like I've become proud of that. Whereas before I didn't really feel like, I didn't want to be like that person, and now I'm like, I'm happy that I've got that natural need to be better every day and like be the best that I can be, like, and now I'm embracing it and I'm enjoying it. I think if you can do it while enjoying it, then that's the recipe, right? Because that's going to end up being consistent over time. And so I think, and obviously then in business it's the same thing. Like I will spend hours planning my high rocks training program and all of that, and I'm like, I need to do the same in my business and every aspect of my life, even managing the kids, like it has to be planned and prepared. Like you can't just wing it, because as you become a mom and all these other things, you just get pulled in different directions the whole time. So it's like you always feel like you're dropping the ball somewhere, because I'm wearing this hat now, then I'm going it. Whereas if everything is planned and structured, that's where you can find that balance and not feel like you're always dropping the ball somewhere. So I think that's what's kind of carried through, is that desire to be the best in everything I do, but just strike that balance of between everything
and give yourself some grace.
Yeah,
because the reality is that you can't do everything for everyone and be everywhere.
Yeah.
And with 3 kids, I can just imagine what it's going to be like once Ryan is also in grade R, and then the other 2 are in and playing in Pretoria and all these places. You are going to have to juggle.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a point in time where it's going to be a bit shitty, but like you're going to have to choose between the one daughter doing the hockey and the other daughter doing the gymnastics, and you just need to
and I think I've already started preparing for that, because like I know that's going to be the case, so I've got to change things now so that, and I've learned not the hard way, basically, because with Ryan being in hospital so much lately, when I'm stuck there for a week and a half, my whole life comes to a grinding halt, and I'm realized that everything is dependent on me, and I don't want to live my life like that, because I'm not always going to be fit, healthy, strong here in Joburg. I might be stuck in a hospital, who knows, So for me, that's my next chapter, is how can I get myself into a position where I'm not doing everything, that I surround myself with a better team, a more efficient team, I can delegate, and then potentially scale, because I am only one person. I can only do so much in a day. So
that's a huge lesson.
Yeah,
it's a huge lesson.
It comes back to when people go on vacation, they put their phone in a drawer for 8 days. Like, I would love to be able to try that one day. But to your point, when you're in a hospital and it's your daughter, everything else becomes not important, right? But at the same time, your business can't halt because of that. So and I'm assuming it probably did.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it kind of doesn't. And then I tear myself into a million pieces, because what I really want to do is just be with my daughter.
Yeah.
and say I'm out of office, but I can't. So I'm like, then my mom's at the hospital for 2 hours. I'm racing home, packing couriers, barely greeting my other two children, because it's all about, and that's what I'm talking about, like being that survival mode, is when you are reactive and not proactive. And that's what I want to avoid in the future, because I really end up being a mess. And even Pam can attest. I came to a class that Friday,
Yeah.
and she was like,
And we
"Are
were
you
training
okay?"
together, and I turned to her halfway through. I'm like, "Are you okay?" Because as one of the fittest people I know, you looked like you were having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like your heart rate was through the roof. And I was like,
Pam's like, "Keep up, Cheyna. What's wrong with you?" And yeah, I was in the hospital, and I just went to like have a break. But
your body wasn't coping.
yeah, I just like, it's just too much for me to handle. And so it's kind of forced me into like really focusing and prioritizing this. It's like, is this really how you want to live? Like you're just reacting the whole time. And that's obviously my go-to is do it myself, do it myself, do it myself. And I think a lot of women, and then as you become a mom, it's just easier to do it yourself.
Why though?
But and that's why I, like what you're doing is great, because you can learn from other women. Like it can be done differently, and like I look up to you a lot, and I think you manage it. You've got to have that structure, and it can be done differently. And I think sometimes you've got to step out of your situation, or have something like that happen to you where you're stuck in a hospital and you think this is not okay for this to happen. And yeah, then I end up rushing back and forth between the house like 8 times a day and relying on other people, but it doesn't feel good. You're in survival mode and you're just trying to make it work. So yeah, that's my plan now, is to try and think about how can it look different, and how do I want it to look? I don't want it to be like, oh, stuck.
You need to have that vision first
Yeah.
to be able to work it backwards. And systems is going to be huge, is getting those systems in place. And that's even like for yourself too. Every Sunday I do that separation Sunday thing, and it's been an absolute game changer. I've done it since October and I haven't missed a Sunday.
What does it involve?
So essentially it's like a snapshot, and it takes as long as you drink a hot cup of coffee. So maybe 15, 16 minutes. And you start with your wins for the previous week. So you almost do like a retrospect. And then it's your learnings for that week, and what you learned and what you're going to take from those learnings. And then it's like what you're excited for the week after. So then you got your 3 different elements for each. Then it goes into the next step, which is your goals for your personal, for your work, for your wealth, and for your relationships. Okay. So then you have like a specific goal for each of those, and your relationships doesn't just have to be between you and Mike or you and the kids. It could be, finding or building relationships, for example, for us on this podcast. It's like, who are we going to speak with, and build those relationships to get people on, or whatever that might look like. And then it goes into a Monday through Friday, but essentially you'll do your Monday, and I usually do like my Tuesday as well. And then on Tuesday, I'll do my Wednesday, and then my top 3 things that I want to do. So if I tick those top 3 things, I've had a good day, because that was the 3 priorities. Okay. And it just it gets that clarity, but the goal of it has to be the start of having a vision first. So then my vision is, building, for example, the F45 network to 60 studios by the end of 2029. So if that's my goal, how am I breaking that down to be able to achieve that? Because that just feels daunting and big. So it's just like, let me bring it back. But then you need to have a team. I'm very lucky to have a great team at Bryanston, at Four Ways, with Altus, with the Functional Fitness South Africa people. So I'm not doing it all by myself. So it feels like I'm all over it, but I've got such a great team that lifts that up. And then at home as well.
Yeah, I think what's nice about that is like it's separating personal, because we aren't just defined by one thing. We wear so many hats. So, and you have to think about, what am I prioritizing? What am I choosing to prioritize? Not what is needing me most at this time on this day, because then you get pulled in all these different directions and you're not empowering yourself. You're kind of reacting. So I think, please send me that so I can do it.
It's like noted. And then and the biggest element of it is to share it on your socials. because that's what holds you accountable to doing it. And you can cover it
Okay.
up and everything like
Yeah.
that. But every Sunday, and I've got, you know, there's probably 5 or 6 people that message me every single Sunday, and they're just like, Karen, you inspire me. I
Yeah.
need to get this. And I
Yeah.
send it through to them as well, but then they don't execute. So it's like,
Okay.
you need to get there. And then you
Yeah.
almost feel like if you don't do it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like I'm letting myself down, because I know that no one cares.
Yeah.
But it's my way of
Yeah.
making sure that I get it done. And
You're resetting basically
every Sunday.
starting the week
Exactly.
so like clear. And my biggest like saying this year has been, you're the sum of your daily habits. Like your success is the sum of your daily habits, and that's how you break the goal down, right? Like, this is where I want to be, but what do I need to be doing every day over the next 1 year or 2 years or 3
Yes.
years to get there? Like, that's how you break it down. So every day when you're doing that little task, or you're fitting it in, or every Sunday when I know I'm doing this because this is going to get me there
Yeah. And it
in
gives you
5
that
years'
clarity.
time. Yeah.
And so like then I do that first thing on a Sunday morning, and then I'm clear, because I know, okay, cool, like I've got a plan for the week. So it's not like just, I remember when I worked for the Four Seasons Hotel and being an assistant manager at the front desk, like we used to get shouted at all the time. I don't know how the airline people do their job.
Yeah.
Like that would just be horrific. But I remember like my manager at the time, and he was such a great mentor to me, but he used to say to me, Karen, respond, don't react. And I remember I had this sticky note. So every single time someone was like screaming at me, I would stare at this sticky note, just respond, don't react, respond, don't react. and it's like, that's life.
Yeah.
You know, you need to, you can't react all the time. Otherwise you get into, you know, that in and out, the anxiety. You become that little character.
Yeah.
And your kids feel that too.
Yeah.
And it's such a great lesson. Like, life is about how you respond to the things that happen to you, because the react comes from a pre-programmed kind of response that we have from our childhood selves. And it's learning to rewire that and to say that you might not have complete control over life, but you do have control over you and your reaction to it and the lessons you're taking from it, and not to take everything so on board.
Yeah. And then when you become a mother, you have a spotlight on you.
And
Like
judgment.
these little
Yeah.
kids learning from everything you do, which is testing.
And us as mums, we definitely carry that burden for sure. Like, I think we're very lucky because Mike is also a phenomenal dad. And so it's so great to have them as such a strong presence within their life. But I think when it comes to, I got a message, Rory and I were chatting this morning, and he's like, did you see that, Harrison's been allocated his buddy, and there's all these different dates that we just need to put into the calendar. I'm like, me, and invite you.
The royal we.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, okay, noted.
Yeah, I think Michael sometimes pretends not to know how to do things just so he can stay in his lane.
But you guys have such a great relationship. I remember chatting with you guys on the weekend, and I joked about Mike playing golf, and you're like, no, he's not allowed. He's home. We have date night. We have whatever it might be. And then I see you at F45 on the Sunday. I'm like, oh, Mike's probably like, I prefer to travel.
You're sticking with me, but we're going to High Rocks.
But it's so important for you guys to do that, because then at least the time that you are together, it's quality, and you get to do things that you both enjoy because you're both fit.
Yeah. Oh, we met through squash. Funny that. Yeah.
Oh, did you meet through squash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was also a South African squash player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so your kids are going to play squash.
Or paddle.
Yeah, or tennis maybe.
Something with a bit more.
Maybe go outside.
Where we don't have to fund them.
How sad is that, hey?
Yeah.
But it's the reality.
But yeah, I mean, if Charlie's been loving hitting the squash ball, so if she loves it, then we do it. So
yeah,
as long as they can find something they love to do every day that keeps them out of trouble, I'll be happy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the main goal.
And off those devices, I think, for me, I think moderation is everything, in terms of diet, in terms of screen time, in terms of exercise. But if these kids find something that they absolutely love and they just want to be outside all the time, what a bonus!
Poor little Charlie had her first hockey match yesterday, and we screaming for her and go Charlie, and she got home, and like you realize they're so little and they're not exposed to the stuff yet. She was broken. She kept walking. She's like, my legs are so sore. And I'm like, yeah.
Did you tell her to toughen up?
I did initially, and then Mike just gave me the eye, and I'm like, it's okay, love. They'll be fine tomorrow.
She wakes up this morning limping down the
Yeah,
stairs.
she's like, she was broken, and I was like, oh, welcome to the world of pain and suffering.
One of my friends was sharing how her daughter ran a 5K with her. I'm like, I don't think that's normal. At 6 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Did they complain the whole way?
And again, like that's where also you as a parent need to have the awareness, because there's so much as well that I don't know about you. Well, I'm sure with you, because those Bryson parallel mums are competitive and those families are, I'm scared of some of them.
Yeah.
And so like you probably see some of that stuff on social media and you're like, you know, you start to put yourself in that position. You're like, wait, like I'm actually doing okay.
Yeah.
My kids don't need to run 5Ks just yet.
No, I think it's often the parents that didn't actually come from a high level of sport that end up being like that. You know, I think if you've been there, done that, and you realize that they're only 5, and you know, it's all age relevant, and they just have to have fun, because that is the main thing. If you're not having fun, nothing is going to last. So
Exactly.
they just have to make sure their kid is having fun. I think that's the main goal.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well, Cheyna, thank you so much.
pleasure.
Love just shooting the
Chatting.
breeze with you.
It just feels like another coffee after
know.
gym.
We're going to close with our final question.
Oh no.
I know. Brace yourself. What is the room that you've built?
Oh no, I haven't seen this question.
I believe in you.
What is the room I've built? I'd like to say a loving and kind one, but yeah, I think that's the most important thing to me, is love and kindness, because I mean, everything else is irrelevant without that. So it's the room I've built.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Shayna.
It's been great.
Yeah.
And I love that with your village. It's like true to you.
Yeah.
18 people in your house.
Yeah. You're always welcome.